So you currently join me on Wyre Lake at the Wyreside complex, and this is one of the members' waters. There's some absolutely stunning fish in here, sort of really old, dark, scaly mirrors. Every single run you get is a real leg shaker. This is a lake that I've never actually done much fishing on before. I've done, I think, 5 nights for 3 fish in total. Those were all coming last year. This year I've been mostly sort of concentrating on Bantons. Anyway, we're not really here to talk about sort of my fishing at the moment. We are currently here to talk about what a fantastic sort of spring I've had, and just to sort of run you through where I'm up to on the fishing front. I am with Paul as well. He's over on Sunny 2 right behind me. I'm currently on Point Swim. He's on Peg 12 on Sunny 2, so we're sort of back to back. So if we do catch anything during this session, I'll overlay the footage in between me talking about my spring campaign. Before we talk about my spring and sort of what I've been doing, what I've been fishing, I'm just going to quickly get the rods out, and then we'll come back and talk about how I've got. Actual plan for my spring fishing this year was going to be focused on Bantons. However, I haven't actually managed to do that many nights. I've done 5 nights in total this year. The reason for that is because, of course, we had the France trip, we had toddler booked, and then work commitments and things like that just hasn't allowed me to get out. However, we have had a few fish which I'm going to talk you through today. So as I said, Bantons was the target lake. The actual size of Bantons, looking around about 12 acres in size. I think on the website it's advertised at 200 fish. It's a nice sort of middle of the range sort of hardness of lake. It's not too difficult sort of once you know the patrol routes. So my spring got off to a fantastic start on the Wyreside complex, but it wasn't actually on one of the members' waters. I was fishing Sunny 2. I had 48 hours ahead of me. That was the Bait Guru social. I only managed to fish around about 30 hours because I had to bob off to work, but I did manage to catch 6 fish, just fishing naked chuddies, orangey central fruit poppers, cast into the middle of the lake, and managed 6 fish, which was a fantastic start. Because of France, as I said, because of Topper, it was a big 2-week session that didn't actually get to fish Bantons until literally the last day of April. So yeah, I'm sort of missed all that big peak of hauling, which Bantons is renowned for, sort of that early spring sun. Got there in the afternoon, midweek, work overnight. I got there around about 5 o'clock. I was leaving at 7 in the morning. And yeah, the choice of swims were limited. There was only 2 swims available. One was Luna, which is renowned for day bites, so I didn't bother with that one. And the other one was Fence, which I know quite well. I've fished quite a lot, and that is more well known for nighttime bites and first thing in the morning. So yeah, set up in Fence, 17.5 wraps out on all 3 rods. Jungle remix over the top, just throwing sticks out, with boilie and some pink essential fruits over the top with a little bit of halo on as well. By early morning, middle rod sort of ripped off, and I was into my first fish of that spring campaign. I knew it was one of the better fish straight away. I never use my clutch on Bantons because of the weed. Normally you're just sort of pulling them in over the top. This one, it's rare for me. I did have to use my clutch. As soon as I got into the net, I knew it was either 1 of 2 fish. It was either cluster or a fish known as the corporal. Well, what a brilliant start to my spring campaign on Bantons after Tobber and France. I haven't managed to get down here, and this is my first work overnighter. I managed to get one of the A team. This one is known as a corporal, and at £27, yeah, it's an absolutely stunning fish, one of the best looking carp on the lake. And this one came over the jungle remix and the pineapple halo and a pink ear pop-up. The other side is just as beautiful, so I'll quickly show you that now. Fish like this, obviously you can see why I love this lake so much. Yeah, absolute stunners they are. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, let's get this one back, and I'm off to work. So after slipping that one back, it was straight off to work at 7:30 in the morning, and as I was leaving, they were showing all over me. It's an absolute sickener when you obviously have to leave for work in the morning when they're showing all over you. I would love to have stayed. I definitely caught, hopefully one or two more, but needs must. That's the sort of the way that work overnighters work. So that was the end of my first session. My next session, I did actually have a rare 48-hour one. My wife, she was away for the weekend, so basically I got there after work on the Friday, and I set up in a swim known as Woodies. That's basically the opposite end of the lake. Woodies doesn't normally do that well, I find from experience this time of year, but there was a nice sort of westerly wind pushing into there. The sun was up, and that area is quite shallow. 3 rods, 2 put out to a plateau at around about 13 wraps, and then one tight to the island, which is basically a spot that I never normally fish, but nighttime bites is sort of the island spot, so I wanted to sort of maximise my time while I was down there. So once the island, that's around about 20 wraps just to the corner, and by first thing in the morning I was flat out asleep after work. I think it was around about 5 in the morning, and the island rod ripped off. Waders on. Don't go that way. First one of the trip. First thing in the morning, dust coming from the island. It's the first time I've ever fished the island, actually. From this peg, just in Woodies. It's one of the stockies. It looks a nice one. Come on. So the first one of a short session. This one I'm in Woodies, and it's from a spot that I've never actually fished before. Just casting tight to the island, just to the corner of it. I'm rattled off at first light. The spring is going well so far, so that's 2 overnighters and 2 fish. So can't complain at that at all. This one's a stocky. I'm guessing this was one of the slightly older stockies that was stocked. I think it was around about 3 years ago. Darkening up well. Nice little scale pattern on it. Happy days.
To go from a solid pack now.
So generally when I'm fishing either Bantons or Wyre, I'm going to use two different rigs depending on the amount of weed and the spots and things like that, but they're both going to be pop-up presentations. This is the first one, and this is what I fish when I'm fishing over heavy weed, and I'll use this in conjunction with a leg clip and a little bit of tubing. So it's basically just a stiff hinge rig but with a soft boom. So yeah, starting off at the top, I've got a size 6 troddy hook from Signet, and then some of their soft coated braid, just tied off obviously with a ring swivel, a little bit of putty, and then I use a G-Cray pop-up. So that's the rig that I'm fishing out if I'm fishing over heavy weed. That will just be straight to a leg clip, a little bit of tubing, and a 4-ounce gripper lead. And then this is the rig that I use basically if I'm throwing sticking out boilies and there's not much weed and it's pretty clear. So this is the rig that I use for the majority of spring. Pretty simple, it's just a Ronnie rig, and I'll be using this on a drop-off helicopter system with a little bit of tubing. The reason why I don't use this over heavy weed is just to find if you've got drifting weed and various things like that, the leg can come off every now and again and you reel in and you've got no lead on. So if that is the case with heavy weed, I would be using a leg clip, but at the moment I'm just using a helicopter system. So yeah, it's a Ronnie rig. We've got a video on how to tie this over on the YouTube channel, so obviously check that out in the tutorials playlist. Yeah, but basically it is a size 4 wide gape XS hooks. I've been using these since the start of spring and they have been absolutely amazing. And then just some, yeah, basically stiff fluorocarbon. And then yeah, this time I've just got shrink tubing on there rather than a kicker. I just find just makes it a little bit stiffer and just sort of keeps that hook holding a little bit more. A little bit of putty, and then bait wise, I do swap between them, but at the moment I'm using yellow ultras, and these are fantastic for the Ronnie rig, and this one is soaked in the Estamina Halo. So they're the two rigs that I'm basically using on the Wyreside complex. They've done me a lot of fish over the years, so yeah, feel free to use them, feel free to give them a try. This one over clear spots and when the weed's nice and low or non-existent, and then yeah, leg clip with a little bit of a hinge stiff rig with a soft boom when the weed's up. And then bait wise this spring I've just been doing a straight out and out boilie approach. On Bantons I've been using a mixture of the Jungle Remix and Jungle Mix with a little bit of Salamino at times as well, and that's 15 millers and 18 millers depending on the wind and how far I can get them out and how far I'm fishing. And then on Wyre I've been using a mixture of all of our boilies, so Salamino, Jungle Mix, G-Cray, and that is a mixture of 12 mil, 15 mil and 18 mil, and I've been spotting those out and also putting them out with throwing stick and the catapult as well. One final thing that I do like to do with my boilies is I do soak them in water. So I soak them in water overnight, half a bottle of Salamino enzyme liquid food in there, just lets that all soak in. It is quite silty out here, so that liquid food will soak into the bait and it'll stop that silt sort of impregnating into the bait and making it smell rotten. After slipping that fish back, I did actually end up moving, but it was a bad mistake really. I should have just stayed in Woodies. I ended up moving into Rowlands. My mate James had just vacated that swim, and they were sort of cruising around the top of Rowlands, which is basically opposite where Woodies is. They were cruising around the top of Rowlands. Thought that they would have held there, but they didn't. As soon as I got into there, basically they moved out. They ended up going round the other end of the lake. So yeah, little mistake for me, but I did have a fish, so I was really happy with that. My next session after that was exactly the week after. Again, this was a Friday after work, and again I set up in a swim known as Fence. However, this time it was blowing a southwesterly, but it was a bitterly cold wind. The guy in 15 was catching, I think he's had 3 during his 48-hour session, and no one else around the lake had caught. And 15 is renowned for, again, day bites, but normally sunny weather. And because with it being the southwesterly, because it was being cold, they were basically just holding up behind the bar, behind the plateau that's in point 15. My thinking behind this was that potentially during the night they drift into the sort of deeper water of Pence, and hopefully I will pick one up in the morning. Again, the same spot, 17.5 wraps, all 3 rods, out into the middle of the lake. This time I was using Salamino. I'd sort of run out of the Jungle Remix now. Salamino, pink essential fruits over the top. And yeah, by first thing in the morning, again, the rod was away. And yeah, it was quite an amusing story because it was the same fish which I caught the week before. So would you believe it? Yeah, twice. Had this one last week and now got it this week as well. Yeah, last week it was from Woodies, this week it's from Fence. Really happy with it, it's a nice little stocky. Yeah, 23 pound. Yeah, out of all the fish, I have to go and catch the same one again. And that one was actually the last fish of my session, and that's basically been my spring on Bantons and yeah, Sunnyside too. So I haven't done many nights, but 3 fish in 5 nights I've been really happy, and that was basically the end of May. So that brings us to where we are now. As I said, I'm probably not going to be filming this session on Wyre. I've had a really sort of busy last few months filming, and I'm just going to take these next few days, obviously just to chill out. However, as I said, I am with Paul, so what I am going to do, if he does have any more, obviously we'll film those. He's using solid bags, he's using the solid bag, the solid bag systems with yellow essential fruit dumbbell rafters in there, just fishing the margin to his left hand side, so he's having a fantastic session. So yeah, if he does have any more, obviously we'll get those filmed. If I do have anything, I will film them, but yeah, if not, thank you for watching. Hope you've all had a good spring. With regards to my summer campaigns, oh, I'm in. Been showing like mad all over the top of me. Come on. That's a nice fish. Get in! Is that paw print? So I can't quite believe it, I've caught one, and it's an absolutely mega fish. It's a fish known as paw print. It's 46 years old. It's definitely Lancashire's and probably the Northwest's oldest fish. It used to do 40 pound. I think maximum it's been out around about 42, sort of back in the early 2000s. So yeah, real old warrior. It has been through the ringer over the past couple of years. You know, it's had a little bit of a tough life over the past couple of years, so I'm certainly not going to film it. I'm not going to put it through that stress, but I'm going to put the photo up now of what I've caught. Obviously, yeah, absolutely buzzing to catch that. People have fished this place for years to catch that fish, so to get that just within, you know, a couple of nights sort of fishing this venue over the past couple of years, absolutely over the moon. Couldn't ask for more. Now, what's going to be happening with my summer campaigns, still not decided. I've got a week free. Yeah, basically on this venue you get 2 weeks. This is 1 week that I'm going to take. I've got another week that I'm probably going to take in summer. I've got the French trip with Paul down at Abbey Lakes in August, and I'll probably flit about on either Wyre and Bantons as well in the autumn and the late summer. So yeah, Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to like it because it really does help us out. And as always, if you want to check out our tutorials, our vlogs, all those other things, obviously subscribe for all the notifications and also hit that bell button. Thanks for watching. See you on the bank sometime.